Hello Wolfpack, what's going on there? Having a good day? That's good. Alright, let's jump straight into it here. Let's go straight into the 4-year cycle theory. I've got a few things I want to talk about regarding this that aren't usually what I talk about, and that's the extrapolation of the data. Now, we've done this before in the past. I want to quickly reiterate here, because it seems as though, and this is something we've been getting into quite a bit within the last few days, it seems as though a lot of people are bearish now, right? Macro. I mean, a lot of people have always been bearish, but I mean, in terms of the polls, like I do a weekly poll regarding how many people are bearish in the market. It went from 36% to 38% to 39%, back down to like 33. That's not the exact numbers, but it's something like that, and that's week on week. So it's dropping again, right? So more people are bearish, and essentially, yeah. So that would lead you to assume more people are expecting a lower bottom on Bitcoin. More people think the bottom is in. I've spoken about this in the past. And essentially what I think and what I've thought since November 2021, since it's actually basically at the top, I've thought the whole time Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle theory. The 4-year cycle theory is predicting a bottom in Q4. I don't know exactly what price that would be at. If I had to guess, it would be at either 17K, so a double bottom at 17K in Q4, or would go down in Q4 to a support region as seen by the bear market prices here at around 11.5K to 13.5K. Now that's what I've stuck by for about a year now on Bitcoin. Not quite a year, but just under a year. So essentially, yeah. So that's what we're expecting. And right now, we are in a bear flag. I'm not going to cover too much of the same stuff because we've already covered a lot of this before, but we are in a bear flag like we've seen on the daily chart, for example. We're at the bottom of the bear flag right now. We spoke about this yesterday. We would expect the highest Bitcoin can go is probably 22.6K before a rejection and a breakdown of the bear flag. We're not expecting this bear flag to break upwards. We're expecting a breakdown. And I'll talk about that a bit more towards later in the video. But essentially, just a few things I want to look at as well. Okay, so we can jump straight into the 4-year cycle now. Essentially, the 4-year cycle, right, and if you know what it is, bear with me for a second. Date range trend triggered by the halving, that triggers a 4-year cycle, meaning you have 1 year of bear market, 1 year of bull market, 2 years of consolidation / accumulation, right? So it makes up 4 years in total. Now that's happened on 1, 2 full occasions, and we're having the third occasion right now, right? So we've had 3 separate 4-year cycles. We've just started the last cycle here. We're in the third bear market. Bitcoin, as we've seen, we've started the third cycle. And so essentially, or well, actually, the third cycle was started by the bull market here, but we're midway through the third cycle. So essentially what we can do is actually bring up date range trends. So what we can do is, this is a date range trend. We can't predict prices off of this, but we can predict prices on Bitcoin using ulterior motives, right? Ulterior methods, sorry. And the ulterior methods we've used have predicted that we're going to be seeing either a bottom at 17K or a bottom at around 13K on Bitcoin. And so using those price points, we can use a date range trend and use data exemplified from previous cycles to try and extrapolate and find out where Bitcoin will top or bottom in future cycles. So what we've actually come up with is a formula here, and we've said 18K instead of 17K, just to keep it simple. And we've come up with a formula in which we can describe where Bitcoin's going to go, not only in dates, but in prices in the future. And we can say that if Bitcoin bottoms, this is the ultimate thing, right? If Bitcoin bottoms at 18K in this cycle, right? So if it goes down, Q4 bottoms at 18K in this cycle, or if the bottom is already in 18K in this cycle, we will be at 46K at the halving, and we will be at 244K at the top in 2025 in October, right? If we bottom at 13K, which would be the more bearish scenario, we would be at 32K at the halving, and we will be at 170K at the top in October 2025. And as you can see, and you can go through the data yourself here, but this is essentially what it suggests. So basically, the worst case scenario for Bitcoin, if we bottom at 13K, I'd assume that's the worst case scenario, 11.5K to 13.8K, let's just say 13K for sake of clarity and simplicity. If we bottom at 13K, which I would say is the worst case scenario, I don't see us going much further below that on Bitcoin. That's just my personal opinion. We would be seeing most likely a top rough. It's very rough. Don't take this too seriously. But around 170K in 2025 and around 32K at the halving in 2024. That's if we bottom at 13K. If we bottom at 18K, around 244K in 2025 and around 46K at the halving in 2024. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think that's not too optimistic. I actually think that's a very moderately conservative prediction. You think about where that is. This is the yellow box that's saying, okay, this is between 144K. Actually, no, it's not. Let me fix that up in 1 second. So yeah, this yellow box here is actually that prediction. So we're taking that between 170K and 244K, which would be between a 13K bottom and an 18K bottom, extrapolating it and seeing that's where we top out in the next cycle. if we were to bottom at either one of those regions. I think that's very, that doesn't look too bad to me. It looks pretty conservative over here. I can see that happening. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what I think. That's the data. That's what the data says. Now, it is preliminary data. Okay, ridiculously preliminary data. I mean, it's very, very vague. It's nothing to be taken too seriously at this point. But when we see the bottom confirmed, and if that bottom is confirmed in Q4 at either 18K double bottom or 13K-ish, that becomes solid data. Right now it's preliminary because we haven't actually seen where the bottom is 100%. We don't know exactly where the bottom is. But if that bottom does take place in Q4 at either of those two targets, that data is not preliminary anymore. It's pretty solid. It's pretty, reputable data. And so what would we need to see for the bottom to be confirmed? Well, I think for the bottom to be confirmed, if it was to be confirmed right now, for example, if the bottom is in right now, we need a break above 28.6K, and that would confirm the bottom. That is the macro support level we're looking at on Bitcoin for these regions here. And so that would confirm the bottom. And so if we break above 28.6K, that would confirm the bottom. And then we can start to make this data a bit more precise. But if the bottom isn't in, if it's like downside, the bottom's not in yet, if we drop down to 18K for a double bottom and start to reverse and take back a critical level, I don't know what it would be yet, that would confirm the bottom. And the same thing about 13K, if we drop down here, start to reverse, maybe take back, 18K, I don't know yet, because we haven't gone down there yet, that would confirm the bottom. So there's different confirmations for different bottoms. Right now, the confirmation for the bottom being in at the present moment in time is 28.6K, but if we do drop down lower, that confirmation is going to lower as well, so the risk reward goes down or whatever. But essentially, yeah, that's what we're looking at for Bitcoin. I thought I'd bring that up because it's very important to understand that this market does not act it doesn't just do whatever. A lot of people think that Bitcoin just does whatever it wants. Oh, you can't predict Bitcoin, it just does whatever it wants, it does its own thing. It's actually it couldn't be further from the truth. The fact that this 4-year cycle theory exists, even if it's invalidated, the fact that it's ever existed is a good indication that Bitcoin doesn't just do what it wants. Maybe on the very short-term time frame, but on a macro scale, this thing is predictable. It's very predictable, right? We've literally seen 3 separate occurrences of the exact same thing take place. 1 year of bull market, 1 year of bear market, 2 years accumulation. 3 separate occurrences. So to say it's just doing random stuff and no one can predict it is just completely illogical. And I think it stems, when people say that, I genuinely think it stems from a lack of understanding of technical analysis. Because once you understand TA, you understand that, hey, the market doesn't just do whatever it wants. It reacts to situations, right? Reacts to market patterns, reacts to macro events, reacts to this, and all of those reactions are predictable. They're not predictable. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. No one can. But statistically speaking, if you know TA, you'll get it right more when you get it wrong, and you'll make money from it. So it doesn't do what it wants. It has clear cyclical trends like the 4-year cycle theory, and that's what we're trying to extrapolate on here. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think that's worth bringing up. One more thing I do want to talk about today is the fact, I don't want to get too much into the short-term analysis. We've done it a lot. Nothing's really changed at this point. But essentially, yeah, Bitcoin's in a bear flag formation. Bear flag formations typically break to the downside. I'm expecting a bottom in Q4 at either a retest of the double bottom at like 17.6 or lower prices at 11.5 to 13.8. But essentially, we have this bear flag formation. We also have this downtrending yellow line. And what we can see is the downtrending yellow line cuts off the bear flag formation. Meaning that if we extend too far sideways here without breaking out of the bear flag, we will be forced into making a decision, either breaking upwards out of the downtrending line or breaking downwards out of the bear flag before September 18th. So we're forced to make a decision on Bitcoin before September 18th. We can only consolidate in this price region to a maximum of September 18th, meaning within the next month, Bitcoin will be making a decisive decision on whether the bottom is in or not. Not really whether the bottom is in or not, but basically making a decisive decision that will give us a lot of evidence in determining whether the bottom is in or not. I can tell you right now, if we break up, that significantly lowers the chance of the bottom not being in on Bitcoin. If we break down, the bottom's basically not in on Bitcoin at that point. So this could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, it could happen before, it could happen on the day, on the 18th of September. But realistically, if we're being realistic, we could say this is probably going to be happening within the month of August, maybe within the first week of September. So maybe within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will be breaking somewhere on Bitcoin, and we can get really intense with the analysis when that does occur. As of right now, pretty simple stuff, bear flag formation, be conservative with your trades, still within a big structure. If we go to shorter term, what's going on there, I haven't even looked. We can see Okay, yeah, so this pink line's still relevant, right? We've got this shorter term pink line. If you're interested in trading shorter term, this is the pink line you have to draw. It's very messy price action, but it is very much there. Also, 21.57K is also a pretty interesting line you need to draw as well. And that's just for short term trades. For example, if you so long as we're above that line, and between this line here, that's a no trade zone. Break above that, that's a trade zone. Break below that, it's a trade zone, right? So, just a quick little short-term analysis there. If you're interested in that, if you're trading, that's what you need to be following, the guideline there. But essentially, yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I will look at a few things before we end the video. Firstly, BitGet Exchange. Now, every single person who's watching this video right now, right, go and sign up to BitGet. It takes 5 minutes. It's completely free. Use my referral link in the description below to get access to a reward center. There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. They've got a protection fund, meaning, and we'll click on this right now, this is very exclusive stuff. No other exchange that I know of has this, right? They have dedicated 6,000 Bitcoin at 80 million USDT. I've accidentally clicked on a link there. And 80 million USDT to kind of dedicate to the security of the exchange. So if you lose your money on this exchange, not by trading, but by a hack, by someone hacking into your account, whatever, the exchange gets hacked, you can make a claim to the security fund, the protection fund, and get that money refunded. No other exchange that I know of has that. Maybe they do. I don't know of any exchange that has that. Meaning that the whole not your keys, not your crypto thing still exists. Of course, you should still withdraw to a cold wallet, but it's very much less, I don't know, what's the word for it? It's less dangerous on this exchange, which is good. On top of that, you've got half the fees of Binance, and you've got non-KYC, which means it's decentralized on a personal level if you want it to be, which lines up with the fundamental values of cryptocurrency. Sign up to BitGet, takes 5 minutes, completely free. Use my referral link in the description below to show some support for the channel. I'd appreciate that, guys. Thank you. And then, of course, we've got Wolves of Crypto VIP. If you're interested in becoming a VIP member, getting access to trading signals, click on the join button on my YouTube homepage, and you'll see these perks come up here. The perks are as follows: 4 trading setups per week, prioritize reply to comments, a 2-hour lecture on market psychology, and exclusive Telegram group access just for 40 AUD a month, which is 28 USD a month, less than $1 a day. And then lastly, the Crypto Academy is a company created by myself and Megawell Crypto. Become a trader, a 10-unit course. We're teaching people how to trade, teaching people technical analysis, teaching people how to analyze charts correctly. And we're doing that through a course, 10 units, 400 slides, 80 videos, and 8 worksheets, and a trading diary. Very extensive amount of content, very extensive amount of information. Once you buy the course, you'll have lifetime access. So if you ever need to come back and check it out again, you can. You can do it whenever you want, right? If you got what something means, don't just YouTube it. Go to an actual course, a structured course that shows you the exact data with references. That's what you need to do. And so if you're interested in that, go to the website and click on the email link here and send us an email, and we'll get back to you with all of the relevant information you need to sign up. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.